moving away from the US dollar. De-dollarization is irreversible, Putin tells BRICS summit in remote address. This is Tyler Durden Zero Hedge. In their inaugural day family photo, BRICS leaders posed without Russia's President Putin as Foreign Minister Lavrov took his place in the ICC arrest warrant, and Rome statute would require the South African government to seek Putin's arrest. International Court. Now, Putin addressed the summit remotely and emphasized in the Russian language speech that de-dollarization is gaining momentum. He said the dollar's receding global centrality is an objective and reversible process. As expected, he struck an optimistic tone that the bloc's future. Also, at the moment, China Xi Jinping is urging BRICS to become a geopolitical rival to the G7. The Russian leader claimed that 5 BRICS members, Russia, China, India, Brazil, and South Africa, are becoming the new world economic leaders, adding that their cumulative share of global GDP has reached 26%. He noted that if measured by purchasing power parity, BRICS has already surpassed the group of 7 leading industrial nations, accounting for 31% of the global economy, compared to 30% for the G7. Over the past 10 years, mutual investments between the BRICS member states has increased by 6 times. Their total investment in the world's economy have doubled, while cumulative exports account for 20% of the global total, Putin said. And he also took a swipe at the US and West's illegitimate sanctions, seriously weigh on the international economic situation, and the unlawful freezing of sovereign states' assets, in a message sure to be greeted positively among many aspiring BRICS applicants. We are consistently increasing fuel, food, and fertilizer supplies to the states of the global south, Putin said, while also blaming international food shortages on the West's unlawful sanctions. As for Xi Jinping, international press reports took note of his already skipping an important meeting on day 1, leading to speculation. Chinese President Xi Jinping arrived in South Africa for the 15th BRICS summit, running from August 22nd to, that's yesterday, to August 24th, that's tomorrow, where he was greeted in Johannesburg by President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is hosting the summit in the executive capital of Pretoria. And it's merely the Chinese leader's second trip abroad this year after in March meeting his dear friend President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Putin will be absent from BRICS meeting after South Africa signaled it was being pressured to enforce the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, which would require the government to arrest the Russian leader. Over 60 heads of state are expected in South Africa, with Foreign Minister Lavrov representing Russia in place of Putin, among other leading countries of Brazil, India, China, and South Africa. I believe that this summit of the leaders of the member countries of the association will be an important milestone in the history of the development of the BRICS mechanism, that it will strengthen cohesion and cooperation among developing countries to an even higher level. The website of the Chinese Foreign Ministry cited Xi Jinping as saying just ahead of the summit's first day. And according to FT, China will push the BRICS bloc to emerging markets to become a full-scale rival to G7 this week, as leaders from across the developing world gather to debate the forum's biggest expansion in more than a decade. However, there's reportedly fierce disagreement over whether to continue pursuing non-alignment for the economic interests of developing countries or to transform BRICS into a rival to the West. Xi Jinping's pre-summit statement also laid out that the members of the association have become a constructive force that optimizes global governments and promotes the democratization of international relations. He said if we expand BRICS to account for a similar portion of the world GDP as a G7, then our collective voice in the world will grow strong. Nadeli Pandor, South Africa's foreign minister, said this month it was extremely wrong to see a potential BRICS expansion as an anti-West move. However, Western capitals are likely to regard the possible additions of Iran, Belarus, and Venezuela as a move to embrace allies of Russia and China, but some influential countries like Brazil under left-wing President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva are likely to be in Beijing's corner on this, given Lula has come out in favor of admitting for membership neighbors like Argentina and Venezuela, the latter a longtime enemy of Washington. Some leaders also want to see Saudi Arabia and the UAE admitted, which will trigger debate over conditions and criteria for expansion. Currently, Saudi Arabia is the closest to becoming the newest member, given talks are ongoing. Over 20 more countries have sought and applied to join. And shortly after Russia foreign minister's arrival at the tarmac in Johannesburg, despite rumblings that some countries, Russia among them, are pushing for the end of the dollar's dominance, the FT has cited diplomatic sources are not that to note that a common currency is not on the agenda of this BRICS summit. And this is by Tyler Durden, Zero Hedge. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.